I decided to 100% NASCAR Rumble on RetroAchievements. Here's how I did it. The first group of achievements was fairly easy. All I had to do was win on each track, rookie difficulty or harder with standard settings, and also win the cups. The difficulty of the next achievement spiked. There are three main categories of achievements: Elite with items settings to no items, Elite with items setting to mayhem items, and time trials. The first set I attempted was Elite with no items, which was much more difficult than I expected. My car was the same speed as the computers, and the computers drove perfectly. It was hard to get first place passing all the cars, and I would have to take every line perfectly if I wanted a chance at winning the race. I had only won a handful of races before moving on. I moved on to the Elite Mayhem set, which I thought was going to be much harder, but turned out to be easier than I thought, with items making it easier for me to win. After grinding Elite Mayhem, I decided to grab all the golden wrenches to unlock all the cars. This was a key turning point in my journey to 100% this game. With the cars I unlocked, I could do the time trial achievements required to use certain cars. Most of the time trials were very easy, but I saved more difficult ones for later. I completed some more Elite Mayhem. The Elite No items had become much easier. On playing a certain time trial, I got to use a card that was faster and had better handling than all the rest. This is Sprint. This car was only a tiny bit faster, but the handling was a big improvement, so I was able to get ahead of computers and keep a lead. I continued to complete all of the Elite No item achievements. All that was left were the time trials, unlocking all the legends, which are more cars. Unlocking all the legends proved fairly easy. All I did was set the items to some, and I was able to win all the cups and unlock them. I also completed the rest of the time trials. So that's it. After all the challenge and frustration, I had finally 100%ed the game. Except there was one last little time trial that stood in my way. Remember how time trials required a specific car? The car that was required was an RV. A slow, terribly handling vehicle, which I wouldn't expect any less of any RV. The goal was to be 124 lap time. It was difficult to fit it in the shortcuts, and shortcuts were obviously required to beat the goal time. The problem starts at the very beginning of the track, and it isn't too bad. If I mess up the lines, I could just restart. Except at the start of the shortcut, there are cones which for some reason lift the RV into the air, making the shortcut impossible to hit first try. I would have to clear the cones, then go all the way around the track. Then I would have to make a very precise jump through the trees and set myself up to take the next shortcut for the ultimate line needed to beat the goal time. This became extremely tedious as I would easily fail the shortcut right after starting the second lap. I would have to go all the way around again for another attempt. The rest of the track was easy. It wasn't super hard to optimize. All I needed was one really good attempt with the shortcut. I had some decent lines with the first shortcut, being only milliseconds away from the goal time. Then, I did this. A very satisfying end to mastering this game. Thanks for watching.